I also work
Sorry.
but I work in Banner as an emergency medical scribe. So some of this stuff I'm familiar with. So if you guys have any questions also, I'm open for questions.
Hello everyone, my name is Rinda and I'm a secretary of HOSA AC West and I'm a rising senior. I work as a Kaplan student brand ambassador. I know some of this stuff because I took a CPR class with Jessica last semester, so I'm familiar with some of it, but we can sharpen the skills today.
My name is Perla. I am a rising sophomore. I am the social media assistant for the AC West HOSA. I also am majoring in medical studies and I work for the Edson College of Nursing and Health Innovation as a student success assistant.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra. I am a rising senior. I am the treasurer for HOSA at ASU West. My background experience is working as a lifeguard in the summer, so I know some of this stuff.
That should be everybody. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Does anyone have any questions?
Not yet.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so there are a few like survival rules, if you will. So the rule number one that you have to always remember is that anything can happen to anyone at any time. So you need to be prepared. So whether it's like honing in on your skills, just kind of being diligent of your surroundings and being aware of what's going on. And then rule number two, this is probably the most important one, is to remain calm always, and then try not to be like SpongeBob and Patrick running around like that, because that just makes the situation 10 times worse for everyone. Like if you have your victim, they're probably going to be freaking out, their family's going to be freaking out, those around you are freaking out. So if you're freaking out, it's just an absolute mess. So if you can, just try to do this one and not this one. Okay. So does anyone know what the universal sign for choking is?
I'll just answer. Can I just answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
You put your hands, like you have that space between your index finger and your thumb on both hands open, and you put them around your neck.
Yes, so you'll be like doing the,
yeah.
Yep, exactly. So you'll be looking like this. So if you see someone doing this, that's generally an indication like, hey, I need help, I'm choking, I can't breathe. So that means that you guys gotta step up and offer help. So how to do that, you'll be doing this. So if you have an adult or a child, if they're coughing, that's a good sign. So you wanna go up to them and just tell them to keep coughing, because coughing equals air. So they're getting their air in, they can breathe, they're doing okay at the moment. When they're no longer coughing, that's not a good sign, and that means that you have to start doing 5 back blows and 5 abdominal thrusts. So once you finish doing those, you're going to look in the mouth for an object, but you're only going to remove that object with your index finger if you see it. So if you don't see it, you don't want to remove reach into their mouth at all. Does anyone know why you don't want to do that?
Should I just answer?
Yeah, go ahead. So if you want to answer it all during the presentation.
Yeah, because you don't want to push it further in.
Excellent.
Can I just ask one question about that? The giving 5 back blows.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we still do that. I thought they thought maybe that could make something lodged more.
So this is going off of the Red Cross certification. Can I ask what you're certified in, if you are?
Oh, you know what? I'm a nursing student, but I've taken CPR over the years, and I took first aid with the CPR when just before my kids were born, before each one I would take it. And I thought they said that, and it might be specific to children, maybe not to give back blows. I'm so sorry. Okay, great. Yeah, I think with a little baby, you hold them upside down, you do the back blows.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
But I thought for adults that they said that back blows were kind of old school. I don't know.
So there's the different ACLS, and there's first aid, there's the different certification programs, I guess, and they each kind of have slightly different methods of how they go about doing the scales. So for American Red Cross, this is the one that they do recommend, since they say it's effective in getting the object out, since you're being forceful on the back and then doing the abdominal thrusts. But there are other programs that information might be a little outdated. So just off of Red Cross, this is what we go off of. But yes, you are correct that some may consider it outdated.
So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. So after you do that, you're going to repeat until either the object is expelled, your person goes unconscious, or someone had called 911 and 911 arrives so that they can take over for you. And then here, this is kind of an example of what you want to do. She's not doing like the back blows, but this is like your abdominal thrusts. And then for an infant, you're going to do the same thing. So minus the abdominal thrusts on an infant, you're going to put one hand on their head and you're going to do chest thrusts instead. Since they are a little bit smaller and there's really no need to reach around them to do the abdominal thrust. That's why that one's a little bit different. And then you're also, rather than moving with the index finger, you're going to use your little finger since these guys are tiny. So if you put like a big finger in their mouth, then you can cause them to choke further, which is not the goal of what we're trying to do. So.
Okay, so for signs of a stroke, you can use the FAST mnemonic. So F stands for face, A stands for arm, S stands for speech, and then T is for time. So to start with face, you're going to see if half of their face is drooping. So you're going to ask them to smile. If the smile's uneven, then most likely they're having a stroke. Arm weakness as well. So you'll ask them to raise both arms. And if one is a little droopy, then again, sign of a stroke. And then as for speech, if their speech is slurred, so you can ask them to say a simple sentence. And if it's hard to understand them, again, sign of a stroke. And then time. So if any of these symptoms are being presented, make sure you call 911 or take them to the hospital immediately.
Okay, so fire. What to do when there is fire? Of course, the first thing you want to do is let everyone know. So you're going to yell fire. And you want to locate the fire extinguisher. So you have to know how to use it. We'll tell you exactly how. So you locate the fire extinguisher, you pull the pin, you aim the fire, you want to squeeze the lever, and you sweep it side to side where there is fire. And then you find the nearest exit, get out and stay out. Before you open the door, you also want to make sure that the doorknobs are not warm, or you could burn yourself. Or if there is a fire standing between yourself and exit, get low, crawl to the exit and close the doors behind you. If anyone is stuck inside the burning building, place a towel under the door and light the flashlight. I think you're muted, Deborah.
Deborah, I think you're muted. You have to mute yourself.
Sorry about that. All right. So how to stay afloat when you're in water when you can't swim. Personally, I don't know how to swim myself. I don't know how to tread like this. But one thing I did learn in swimming class is to float on your back. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're relaxed, because the more panicky you are, the more you do this and the more likely you are to sink. So make sure you're relaxed, and the first thing you're going to want to do is to lean on your back. You think you're going to sink, but just fall backwards nicely, and then make sure your ear is in the water. It's underwater. And make sure the water reaches halfway through your chin, and then lift your chin up and make sure the water is not under right here, but right here. And then try to stay centered, and then you want to lift your back upwards gently, and then start paddling backwards with your arm, and your legs are going to sink naturally, so try to paddle it like slowly.
Could I add something really quick? So just as a reminder, how you said lean back and tilt your head back. Another thing is like wherever your head goes, your body will follow. So the more you kind of tilt your head back, the more your body will float up.
Exactly. So if you do this, you're gonna sink more. But if you just do it like this, you're more likely to float. All right, now this is a random scenario that none of us will probably get into, but imagine if you were on a plane and you get stuck in an island with no signal. The first thing you want to do is stop, and that stands for stop, think, observe, and plan. You don't want to go in panic mode because that's going to tire you out and you don't have food, so just make sure you're relaxed. And then the next thing you want to do is find water. And where water sits is usually in lower elevations because when it rains, water collects where obviously there's, dips. And so once you find water, you want to start building your shelter. You can build your shelter by finding large branches first, so you can build the frame of your house, and then you want to start covering that with branches and cover it with leaves and tarp, whatever you may have around you. And then the next thing you want to do is start a fire, obviously, so you can cook and protect yourself. And what you can use to make a fire is sticks and stones. If you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of tips online, but also you can find a piece of glass. It can even be your glasses that you wear on your eyes. You can just place it above a piece of wood and let the sun burn it. And then after that, make sure you're aware of predators. You don't want to get eaten up, obviously, and try just to stay away from venomous snakes and anything like that. And while you wait to be rescued, you want to write SOS really big in the sand, just in case somebody flies over and somebody will notice you and come rescue.
Can I add something to how to start a fire?
Yes.
So I've actually done that. I mean, not that I was lost. It was just something me and my brother did when we were kids. Like we would go to villages where they had rocks and we would try to start a fire, seeing on cartoons, that's what they do. So what we would do is just grab 2 big stones, and it actually worked because we did light a piece of paper on fire. So like you have to, if you until you see like a little fire, not a fire, just a little spark, like make sure you have leaves or something where the spark is touching those leaves, and until both of the rocks are warm, it will actually start a little fire. So you have to kind of fast and until both of the rocks are warm, but it
nice.
Yeah, thank you. That was good information about fire starting. I like that.
Yeah, no problem.
So, how to treat a burn? I'm pretty sure most of us have been gotten a burn while cooking or doing anything outside. But for first degree burns and second degree burns, you would want to cool down the burn. So hold the burn skin under not cold running water, or immerse it in cool water until the pain is subsidized, and then apply antibiotic ointments. Please avoid oils, lotions, or anything that has a fragrance because it will sting the burning area. And apply any ointments for the burn 2 to 3 times a day. Cover the burn with clear, dry, non-adhesive bandages so the burning won't stick to the cloth or anything. And for 3rd degree and 4th degree burns, please seek medical attention because you need it.
I'm going to add something to this too. So if you have a chemical burn, you have to make sure that you wipe off the chemical, brush it off so that you don't spread it further. And then if you rinse it underwater, it could react with the water, which could cause more issues. So just try to brush it off as best as you can.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
All right, so why do we use cool water and why are we not supposed to use cold water?
So you're going from the 2 different extremes. So if you use cool water, then it kind of numbs the area. But if you use cold water, then you're going from a hot to now a cold. So now you're going to mess up your nerve system since you're going from the 2 extremes. So that's not what you want to do. You just kind of want to use the cool water to cool it back off so that you don't irritate your nerve and damage the skin underneath it.
Okay.
Good question. Oops, sorry. I clicked the wrong button. So heat-related illness. So we live in Arizona. It's really, really hot outside. So this should be a common thing, or it might be a common thing that you guys will come across. So there are different types of heat-related illness. So there's heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Does anyone know which one is considered the worst?
Is it a heat exhaustion?
Nope.
Heat stroke.
Heat stroke. So if you hit the stroke area, that means that your system is going into like a shock. So it's kind of like the going from the extreme to the extreme. So heat stroke is the worst one to get. So heat cramps is just kind of like you're kind of fatigued a little bit. Heat exhaustion, that's a little bit, progress a little bit further. And then heat stroke, you can have further complications. So you want to try to avoid this one as best as you can. So the best way to treat and or prevent a heat-related illness is to drink plenty of bottled water. So you want to drink cool water, not really cold water. Same thing, if you drink cold water, you're going to irritate your stomach a little bit. Always use sunscreen with a minimum of SPF 30. And then I can't see the other one, but yes. So does anyone have any questions with the heat-related illness?
Could I add some things?
Yes.
For heat exhaustion, the person's going to be like sweaty and clammy a little bit. And for heat stroke, they're not sweating at all. So they're past that extreme where it's just their body has no more water in it at all. So that's like one of the telling signs that it's a heat stroke versus heat exhaustion.
And then also you guys need to be careful too, since we're in the COVID times, a lot of people are working out outside, and they're working out outside in the middle of the day. So that's not good at all, since they're rising their temperature, not only with the heat of being outside, but they're rising their temperature working out. So if you guys see someone doing stuff like that, or if you guys yourselves are doing that, then you want to try to avoid that. And you can work out outside. Just try to do it either earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon, so you're not exposed to these and can cause possible complications.
Can I add an advice with drinking water?
Yes.
Right. So a lot of people, when they go hiking, they try to spread out their water, not drink too much at one time. But that's not really a good thing, because there's a lot of hikers that have been found unconscious with water bottles that are full, because they try to drink only a little bit now, drink a little bit later. When you're thirsty, you have to drink. And you have to drink even when you're not thirsty, because your body is going to dehydrate before you know it. Don't try to spread it out. Just drink it when you want to or when you need to.
And then if it's hot for you guys outside to go on that hike, a lot of them like to bring their pets or their dogs. So if it's hot for you, it's going to be hot for the animal. So you're going to burn the bottom of their feet. So just something to be aware of. If you see someone taking their dog outside, just maybe advise them that that's probably not wise, since it's going to irritate their paws and you don't really want to hurt the dog. Does anyone else have any questions before we move on? Okay. So if you guys were interested, this was kind of just an overview of what we have to offer. We do have CPR, so we will teach you all of CPR. We have additional first aid stuff that we can teach you, and these courses are offered currently at the SDFC. We're working on times for our classes right now, but if you guys are interested, it definitely is a good resume booster, and you'll become fully certified so you guys can respond quickly to these emergencies if you see them happening. So if you guys are interested, you can reach out to me at my email, since I am one of the instructors, or you can also reach out to the SDFC staff. They'll be more than willing to help you sign up for the course. You can also put your name and email in the comments, and I can get you more information. Like I said, we don't really have that right now, since we're trying to work through the COVID stuff and how we're going to do our scheduling, but we will get that out to you if you guys are interested. And I just want to say that thank you guys for joining us. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. This was really all we had for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
putting
you.
this together. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job, everybody. Fantastic overview of all the information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then I'll move this. Oops. So all of the images, obviously, is from Google Images, but here's my email if you guys want it. I'll scoot that for you.
Right. We look forward to working with you, HOSA, for fall. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Is it us now? Yeah.
I did see 2 people interested in the first aid and CPR.
Okay.
They
I'll
just
write it.
post their emails too.
Yeah, it's on the comment.
Now that I'm thinking back, should we have slowed down so people could take notes?
That's a good point.